lot of issues in a game where there's that many goals against, but just what were some of the biggest ones for you?
Well, no question, the two biggest ones. Well, the biggest one was rush coverage, right? Getting beat back up the ice on a couple of the goals. We gave up a couple chances net front, but earlier on in the game, and then we kind of took care of that area. But the rush coverage, I mean, they scored on rush coverage 4 goals, and on the rivals where we didn't stop in the house and protect it, and just like the number of scoring chances we gave up was not an issue. Like, we did some good things throughout the course of the game. Every time we got ourselves back in the game, we made another mistake, and every mistake we made tonight ended up in the back of our net. Literally almost every one.
How much of that is? I mean, what did you think of your goaltender's performance, I guess?
Well, it's not good enough. I didn't like our game wasn't good enough. You know, like you can't spend 3 weeks talking about specific things that you know you have to improve on and then go give up those chances. Because here's the thing, like, Vegas is a team that, although they're not like top 3 or 5 in the league last year on creating rush opportunities, they were 3rd best in the league in finishing them off. So they don't need a lot of chances. They capitalize on the chances that you give them, so it's got to be better. So we'll review it, go over it, learn from it, move on.
How much of the timing of whether it be not getting a save or those types of breakdowns, how much of that just sucked the momentum off the bench?
I mean, every time we got back in the game, we gave up another goal right away, you know, on a mistake, on one that we're going to need to mix in some saves on those, there's no question. And every time we scratched and clawed our way back, then we gave up another one, right? So it's frustrating because you feel like you're working twice as hard and then you give up another one. So it's just the timing of it was brutal tonight.
What kinds of changes do you need to see ahead of the home opener when this team plays in front of the home crowd for the first time?
Yeah, got to correct those things. Again, it wasn't a lot of things. There was a lot of good, but it's the things that we've been talking about. We got to get bought in and get committed to doing it, because we just leave it to chance if we don't, right? You're relying on your goaltender, you're relying on your D. It's got to be a 5-man unit doing the right things on the rush coverage and tracking and reloads to start. And because, for the most part, like D-zone coverage, we played hard. We did a lot of things. We did some good things offensively, obviously. But special teams got to be better, like when it comes to the penalty kill, because the mistakes we made on the penalty kill too, like it's not difficult coverage, right? But we got to get out and block some shots in the shooting lanes, and, goalie's got to come up with some saves there too.
Talked about offense needing to ramp up in the last couple of days as well. You got the big line going, but were you happy with kind of what you saw from the rest of the forward group as well?
We had plenty of offense to win a hockey game. Got to check better than that.
The last time Alex had a game like this was, game 1 in Winnipeg. The rest of that stretch after that, is that sort of the thing that you go back to here? Or?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that. He was outstanding in the playoffs after game 1. Yeah.
How do you evaluate the rookie debuts in a game where they are chasing as a team and their minutes are going to be limited?
Well, I mean, depending on how they're playing and what our lineup looks like, you got to be able to play when you're playing lots or playing a little bit. It's kind of the nature of the business in this game, right? So I just look at how they played in the ice time that they got, whether that's a couple minutes or it's 15 minutes, right? You're still expected to do the job, and there's some things I really like from all those guys, and then some things that we can probably improve on, just like the rest of the team.
First game of the season, going into the third period, how tough of a decision is that to move on from Georgia, not move on from Georgia, but put Eustace in?
Well, I mean, it's always tough, I want to give our guys leeway to bounce back from mistakes, and lots of players get that opportunity. Goalies don't always get that, but it is early in the season, and we've had a little bit of time off here to get prepared for this one, and so my thought was we get Eustace in the game as well, and both guys have seen game action, and maybe he's hot coming into it, and we can find a way to scratch and claw our way back into it one last time. But didn't work out that way. But I don't mind the decision to get both guys in. We're going into game 2. Both guys have seen the game action. So, but it's never easy to pull a goalie, because oftentimes it's not just their play, it's your team's play in front of them.
Last ones, guys.
In addition to Mikko Rantanen, were there any silver lining individual performances that might get lost in a game like this?
Mitty played really well tonight. I thought he was an effective player. The top line got going. I didn't like some of the mistakes they made on the defensive side of it, especially at the end of the first period. Those were killers. But there was some competitive spirit from our group on multiple occasions throughout the course of the game to come back. Just got to be a little bit more consistent for me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.